StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, can you sell it? That is the question that we are going to address today. And we're going to talk about why that matters, why it's such an important question, and then hopefully we can get some answers. But before we get started, let me remind everybody, I send out a text message every single day free of charge to everybody who's in my text community. This message is guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day. I even gave it a name. I call it the Daily Motivation. And it's going to do exactly what I told you it's going to do. All you got to do to receive this message is text me at my number, which is 305-384-6894. And every morning when the Daily Motivation text comes out, because you are a member of my text community, you will be receiving this message straight to your phone free of charge as promised. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That is the place where I do all of my coaching. That is the only place I do coaching. That's the place where all of my courses are. That's the place where you can get access to all of my high-level trainings and frameworks. You would like to be a member of the university. You would like to get access to trainings like Bulletproof Mindset, which is my best training, the best training on the market when it comes to making the mindset that you need to take yourself where you need to go, on strategy, like the Business Builder framework, on systems, like the Work on Your Game system. Work on Your Game is an entire system. It is not just a slogan or a catchphrase or a hashtag. And accountability. We have a framework called Next Mission, which is all about how do you move from one task to the next, making sure you're getting things done as they're supposed to get done. All of that, plus a whole lot more. We got 40 plus courses in there. All of that you get access to, immediate, lifetime access as a member of Work on Your Game University. All you got to do is go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Workonyourgameuniversity.com. You get access to all of that material and more. All you got to do, again, workonyourgameuniversity.com. All that said, let's get into today's topic, which is, can you sell it? So topic, again, can you sell it? This is the key question of being an entrepreneur and being able to write your own ticket financially in business. So if you want to be that person who writes your own ticket financially in business, then you must have the ability to sell the thing that you are offering. And it's not about what you can do or how good you are at the practitioner side of your job. It is about your ability to create the exchange of money for what you are doing, which is different than your ability to actually do the thing. Because you can have someone who believes that you are great at the thing that you do, but if you can't get the exchange of money, then it doesn't really matter how good you are, because now you don't really have a business opportunity. You can possibly get a job, but you don't have a business opportunity, at least not for yourself running the business. So let's get into it. Topic, once again, is, can you sell it? This is all about creating the money. So number one, do you offer anything like, this is a question to you, do you offer coaching? Are you a professional speaker? Have you written any books, and are they available for sale? Do you sell courses? Do you offer any form of expert advice? Great. All of those are amazing. Now let me tell you something. There's artificial intelligence software in the works right now that's going to make stuff that rivals your stuff in 2% of the time that it takes you to make your stuff. That is absolutely happening right now. There is material that's coming out right now that will rival your stuff that takes 2% of the time that it takes you to make yours. AI software is going to be able to do it a lot faster than you can do it. Your stuff, and I'm not telling you that to tell you that you should quit coaching, speaking, writing books, and making courses and giving advice. I'm telling you that to let you know that your stuff is not that magical. Even though it may be amazing, it ain't that magical, because what's going to happen is the circulation is going to make the value of the stuff itself, just by itself, go down, no matter how good you are or how good you think you are. You may be magical to the right people, but the stuff itself and the stuff that you create is not magical. The stuff itself is not the key, even though many people think the stuff is the key. The stuff is not the key. Buyers think this and sellers think that the stuff is the key. The stuff is not the key. People are buying you more than they're buying your stuff. When somebody signs up with your stuff, especially those of you in the expert space, what people are buying is you. They're not buying your stuff. They're buying you. That's what they're buying into. And if they don't buy, they didn't buy you for whatever reason. They did not buy your stuff. They get stuff from a lot of sources, or they could choose to go without the stuff. A lot of people choose to go without the stuff. All right, that's not really the key here. That's not the key. People, as I said, they're buying you more than they're buying your stuff. Even if you are or you become amazing at what you do, over time, people will get their fill of the stuff that you offer. You're going to need more than that to sustain your business. And whatever that more than that is, you're going to have to sell it, whatever it happens to be. Whatever you're offering that is more than just the stuff, you got to be able to sell that thing. That's the thing that's going to separate you from whoever or whatever else. And if you don't have a more than that, then become a very nice person, because you're going to be in trouble business-wise. You're going to be in dire straits business-wise if you don't have a more than that, whatever it is, and or if you cannot sell it. It's not that people lose their need for what you offer, is that you will have more competition amongst not only people, but also software that is doing some of the things that you're currently offering. So you need to start preparing yourself for this new reality, which is coming. It's coming right now at the speed of a speeding train. It's coming pretty fast right now. You need to start adjusting yourself to this new reality like yesterday, all right? Because this stuff is happening, and it's happening right now. That there'll be software creating books. There'll be software offering some form of help and coaching and things that ask you the question and it gives you an answer. Or it used to be a time you had to go to a human to do that. Now we got things like Chat GPT that can do that. So understand that as quickly as it did it to the chat, what Chat GPT is doing to Google searching, that's the same thing that AI software is going to do to things like the advice industry. It doesn't mean that people who give advice won't be able to give it anymore or sell it anymore. It's just that the advice itself is not what you're selling. You're selling something that is deeper than that. And this is why the relationship is a huge thing when it comes to business. I talk about this a lot. Actually, it's going to be the subject. By the time you hear this, it'll already have been written and maybe even shipped. But next month's Bulletproof Bulletin, which is a physical mailing I send out every month to the members of Work on Your Game University, along with the Black Book. You can see last month's, which is right here. If you're watching me on video, the August 2023 issue, the subject is Where's Your Focus? The July issue is Winning Matters a Lot. So if you go to bulletproofbulletin.com, you can subscribe to that bulletin and get that every month straight to your physical mailbox. I'm going to be talking about relationships in next month's issue, which is going to be the September 2023 issue of the Bulletproof Bulletin. You need to get ready for this right now, because this is a new reality, and it's already here for some people. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is can you sell it? Number 2, your ability to sell your stuff is where the magic happens. The stuff itself is not as magical as your ability to sell the stuff, because two people can have the same product and one person can make a lot more money than others simply because they know how to sell it, the other person doesn't. So I have $3 million skills. Would you like to know what they are? Okay, I'm not talking about selling as one of them, but my $3 million skills outside of selling is my ability to write, my ability to communicate verbally, one to many. That means to an audience. For example, this show that I'm doing right now is one to many communication. A professional speaking gig or a TED Talk is one to many communication. And then my ability to communicate one to one. That would be like a coaching call, a consultation, or a sales call where I'm talking to one person. Those are 3 separate skill sets. Some people can talk to a group. They're not good at talking to people one-on-one. Some people can talk to somebody one-on-one, but they're not good at talking to a group. Some people can't write. All right, those are my $3 million skills when it comes to business specifically. I'm not talking about just all my whole life. When it comes to business, these are my $3 million skills. Now, here's the additional point to that point. Why these skills are worth $1 million or more for me is not because of my ability to do this, not because I'm this amazing writer, amazing speaker, amazing conversationalist, even though I think I'm amazing at all 3. That's not the reason why they're $1 million skills. The $1 million skills is because of my ability to sell them and get paid to do them. That's why they're $1 million skills, not just because of my subjective measurement of how good I am at the thing, or anybody's subjective measurement. If you love this show and you listen to every episode, you think subjectively I'm the best podcaster in history, that opinion alone is not worth $1 million. Unless you're going to pay me to listen to the show $1 million, then it becomes worth $1 million. But your subjective opinion and my subjective opinion of my abilities are not what make them $1 million skills. It's the fact that I can sell them and I can get paid for my ability to do those things. That's what makes them worth money. You need to know what your $1 million skills are. What skills do you have that are worth $1 million, not just because you're good at them, but also because you can sell them. You can get someone to pay you money to do them. Just being good at the thing that you do is not worth much, because there are a lot of people who are really good at something, yet they can't make money from doing those things. I know a lot of people who are really good at things, but they're not making the kind of money that they want to make from those things. And the reason is they're missing a particular skill set, which is the ability to sell. And so someone who is really good at something, and there are people who are coming to mind as even as I'm talking right now, who I know are really good at what they do, but they are not making money from the thing that they want to. They're not making the kind of money that they want to make from the thing that they do, simply because they are poor salespeople. They're terrible salespeople. It's not because they're lying about their skills. They are not misled about their belief in themselves. They actually are pretty good. All right. It's not that they are they're not that they're overthinking how good they are at their thing. It's not that it's not the right verbiage that I want to use there. It's not that they're overestimating their abilities. They are actually pretty damn good at their things. And there are some people who have $1 million skills that ain't really that good, that they are closer to average at the thing than they are exceptional, but it's still $1 million skill for them because their ability to sell is stronger than their ability to actually do the thing that they are practitioner for. This is a real thing. This is happening in life every single day. It's simply because some people are really good at converting their ability into money and some people are not. This is it. This is the bottom line, folks. Some people are good at converting their abilities into money, i.e. selling, and some people are not good at converting their abilities into money, i.e. they are not good at selling. Your ability to convert your ability into money is what drives a business. If you are an entrepreneur or you wish to be an entrepreneur, the number one skill you must have is the ability to convert your skills into money. If you can do that, you can find people who can learn your skills, who can handle the minutia, who can handle the maintenance tasks, the day-to-day clerical stuff. You can find people to do that. Why am I so sure you can find people to do that? Because you'll be driving enough money that you can pay them. You can hire them and you can pay them to do those jobs. Why? Because you can always create money. See, as an entrepreneur, the most important skill you need is the ability to create money. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't really matter. I could be an entrepreneur in many different businesses. Honestly, I could. I could be an entrepreneur and I could be in a construction business. I could get into the bakery business. I could get into the personal training business. I could continue doing the business that I'm in. I could sell water filters like AquaTrue. I can get into a lot of different businesses and make money and have a steadily running business, not because I have expertise in all those areas that I mentioned. Most of them, I do not have any expertise, actually, zero. But I could still run a business in those areas because I have the ability to sell. As long as I understand the product and I understand who I'm talking to, I can sell. If I know who I'm talking to and I know what their needs are and I know the product and that it can actually solve their desires, I can sell and I can make money. This is one of the reasons why selling is a skill that you need to have in life. I don't care how old you are or what you're looking to do with your life. You need the ability to sell, because selling is simply your ability to influence and persuade other people to see things the way that you see them, and therefore get them to take action that you want them to take. This is a very valuable tool. If you don't have the skill, then again, you're putting yourself in a precarious position in life in general, simply because you can't persuade other people to action. You can't move somebody to do something that you want them to do. You have no influence. Selling is influencing. That's all it is. So when you see this phrase influencers online, like on social media, for example, influencers have the ability to move people to do things. This is why companies are taking their money and diverting it from putting it straight into cold advertising platforms and instead giving their money to influencers. Why? Because influencers have the ability to move people to do stuff. Right? It's a smart move. It's a smart business move. Influencers can move people to do things that they otherwise would not do. You need the ability to influence. Doesn't mean you have to be an influencer like on social media, but you need to have this ability to influence. It should make you curious why they don't teach the ability to sell in schools. There's a couple of reasons why they don't teach it. I'll give you two off the top. Number one is they don't have people in schools who are capable of teaching this skill, because listen, most of your school teachers and professors are not good salespeople themselves, so they are unqualified to teach you how to sell. And number two, selling is akin to entrepreneurship. Every entrepreneur needs to be a great salesperson, even if they're not out there actually doing all the direct sales, but most entrepreneurs are. An entrepreneur needs to be a great salesperson, and if everybody was to learn sales, they would want to learn more about entrepreneurship. And frankly, schools are not designed for that. Schools are designed to create employees, people who go work for entrepreneurs, not people who become entrepreneurs. This is why you see many entrepreneurs either did not go to school, did not finish school, dropped out of school, or went to school, but they were average or below average students, whereas the students who go to school and get really good grades and are like the top performers, they become employees for entrepreneurs. This is what happens. Again, I always offer you all the invitation. If I'm wrong about anything that I say on the show, you can reach out to me and let me know why I'm wrong. Your ability to sell is paramount to your success in life. There are people with mediocre levels of ability, but high levels of sales skills who can sell mediocrity and make more money than people who are much more skilled than them, but lack the ability to sell. There are mediocre skill level people who make more money than high skill level people simply because the mediocre skill person can sell better than the high skill person can. Now, I think I have pretty solid skills at the things that I do, but I value my ability to sell them more than I value my ability to do them. And my ability to do them, I value a lot. But my ability to sell them is the key, because my ability to sell those things is what allows me to be independent and allows me to do what I want to do and allows me to write my own ticket and call my own shot. And if you want to write your own ticket and call your own shot, you just got to learn how to sell. That's it. That's the number one skill you need. Inside Work on Your Game University, you have a course called Sell Yourself that is all about how do you sell, starting with you. You got to sell you first before you can sell anything else. Once you learn how to sell yourself, then we have courses like Content Machine, which teach you how to use content to draw an audience. Then we have the Business Builder Framework, which teach you how to put the pieces, the foundational pieces in place for actually building a business. And sales is part of that framework. It's part of that program is the Business Builder Framework. All of that is inside of Work on Your Game University. Links down below in the description, workonyourgameuniversity.com. Now, with all that said, with success being paramount, paramount to your success is your ability to sell, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. I would suggest that if you are great at selling, you should be an entrepreneur, because there'll be no cap on your income potential if you're a great salesperson. If you're a great salesperson, you don't need to sell for somebody else. There's nothing wrong with selling for somebody else because they got the built-in product. They may have the built-in infrastructure. They have the system. They have the process, and they may even be generating the leads for you. So there's a lot of pieces you got to do when you're an entrepreneur that you don't have to do when you're a salesperson working for someone else. But when you're working for someone else, there's always a cap on your income, because that person, whoever you're working for, is putting the cap on your income based on what you're doing. There's always some kind of cap because they got to get a cut of everything that you sell. Now, you become an entrepreneur, you make your own things. Well, the money goes to you first before it gets divvied up to anybody else. When you're working with somebody else, the money goes to them first, then you get your cut. Again, not necessarily saying it's bad, but if you're looking for unlimited income potential, the only way to get that is as an entrepreneur. That's just the way it works. And the risk of being an entrepreneur comes with the trade-off of that unlimited income. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is can you sell it? This is a question mark. Number 3, in the episode where I talked about stop competing and start dominating, not too long ago, let me tell you what episode that was for those who didn't catch it. That was episode 2679, so just a couple of days ago. I explained how the most dominant entities out there, whether people or companies, are in a category of one. They're in a category by themselves. One of the reasons that they are in a category of one is because they're not looking around at what everybody else is doing and responding to that. They are deciding what they want to do and making everybody else respond to them. There's a big difference between the two. So the question you should ask yourself is, what are your $1 million skills, or skill, if there's just one of them? And how can you set standards with those skills that will separate you from all your possible competition? How can you separate yourself from the crowd? Then, how can you make it known and make your target audience understand why that skill is so valuable for them to partake in, to the point that they would part with their money in order to get it? All right, these are the steps you got to take. In the Business Builder Framework inside of Work on Your Game University, I walk you through this process and help you get there. So you got to know what those skills are. You got to be able to communicate it. You got to get other people to understand it, and then get other people to take an action because of it. So this is where the influence and persuasion comes in. This is all part of the skill set of sales. So with that said, let me recap today's class, which is, can you sell it? This is a key question to being an entrepreneur and being able to write your own ticket financially in your professional career. Number 1, anything that you offer, there is software out there that is looking to create similar things that can compete with whatever you create. Even if it's something that is a physical hard product, there's software making that. They got 3D printers these days. So understand your stuff is not really going to be that magical. Even if it is right now, it might not even be right now. It is the relationship and your ability to sell the thing that really makes the difference, not the thing itself. Number two, your ability to sell your stuff is where the magic happens. I told you I had $3 million skills, and they're $1 million skills not because I'm so amazing at them, but because of my ability to sell them. And it's the same thing for anyone else. If you are great at selling, you want to look into being an entrepreneur, or if you're an entrepreneur, you need to become great at selling, because this is really what drives your business. Doesn't matter what you're selling, what your business is. Number three, where I talked about stop competing and start dominating a couple of days back. I told you the most dominant entities out there are not really looking at what everybody else is doing. They set standards to separate themselves from any possible competition and cause everybody else to try to compete with them, even though they are not competing with anyone else. Question is for you, what standards are you willing to set that will separate you from the crowd? And then figure out what your top skills are. How can you make it known? How can you get other people to agree? And then how can you get them to take an action based on that agreement? That's a 4-step process, again, covered in the Business Builder Framework at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Other thing you can do is text me. Let me know you want to get that daily motivation that I send out for free every single morning. My number is 305-384-6894. Work on your game. Dre, all